What's up? Grace and peace, rocking out. I see you in the building. Hold on for a second. Do this really quickly. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right. Okay, so good. We in the building. There may be some delays because Mercury is trying to get out of here, so it's trying to do its thing. But today is Mindful Monday, and it is sharing now. Thank you, Brother Maybach is in the building. Salute. I'm going to drop the link in a little bit so you know how we do. But I ask that we are very mindful about the words, comments, and things of that nature of what we say, right? Because the powers that shouldn't be have the last say so in critiquing these pages, right? So we want to be mindful about using certain words, phrases, deter from certain conversations. So basically think before you speak, okay? Today's conversation, or topic rather, is going to be talking about accountability. Last week I was going to do something in regards to 9/11, but my good brother behind the scenes was like, you don't want to get into anything with that. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's a hot topic. That's the hot thing to talk about. It's unfortunate because we do have what they call freedom of speech, right? First Amendment, but it's really not. You really have to go by certain bylaws and ethics or etiquette when you're going on certain platforms, and when you're talking about certain things that are could be controversial or a hot topic, it can cause something to ripple down the rabbit hole. But nonetheless, today is Mindful Monday, season 2, episode 3, right? And I also wanted to share, because I know some people have been asking, and Brother Wally had asked the other day about doing readings, and I'm like, I don't want to push it back so far. So I decided that I'm going to be opening up my schedule on my website to do private readings October 10th. So after October 10th, if you want to book a private reading with me, you can go ahead and hit the link. Hollow's in the building. Salute, Hollow. Peace, brother. So if you are interested in doing personal readings with me, private readings, starting after October 10th, I will be honoring those for those who want to get a private reading with me. And I do want to thank everyone, and I appreciate everyone's patience and understanding while I've been going through my grieving. I didn't know how long or whether I was going to continue doing private readings, but it's feeling right. I'm in that space where I think I can hold my head now and do the readings comfortably without feeling a certain kind of way. So I'm going to start doing that come October. So I already set out a alert on the community section. Make sure you go into the community section, because that's where I post everything from when I have vacation time to when I'm going to be going live, when I'm not going live. So definitely want to check the community section. Also on my Instagram, I did post that I will be going doing my personal readings October 10th, so 10/10. All right, so now with all that out the way, again, greetings, salutations, grand rising, salute to everybody that's coming through. My brothers are in the building, Brother Smitty, Brother Maybach, Brother Hollow's in the building, Ronan's in the building, salute. So we got the gentlemen up in here. Halloween, that's right. And I am going to drop the link so you all can, anybody who's interested in getting, having this conversation with me in regards to accountability. You can. If you don't want to, you just want to stay in the bushes, that's fine. I'm not holding your hand, I'm not twisting your arm. All right, so I do want to read a couple of definitions. What the word account, therefore where accountability comes in, so we have an understanding. Again, fair use, fair use, fair use. Copyright disclaimer, using out of the Webster's Dictionary. Accountability is a noun, all right? And accountability, the quality or state of being accountable, especially an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's action. All right, in Britannica, the term accountable originates from the Latin computar, to account. In Cambridge Dictionary, it's a noun, still accountability. The fact of being responsible for what you do and able to give a satisfactory reason for it, or the degree to which this happens. And then it says, see accountable, which is an adjective. All right, someone who is accountable is completely responsible for what they do and must be able to give a satisfactory reason for it. Just silly. Just Queen Latifah. The queen is here. Okay, so again, in Britannica, to be accountable, recognize a person to produce a account of either the properties or money that have been left in his care. See, when they talked about so going back into the good old days of yesteryears, when they mention words like accountability, okay, or account, it always had to do with money, right? So it's a very new term now, as far as when we say, well, I hold myself accountable for that action, or you say, you hold yourself accountable, or I hold them accountable, right? It's not necessarily about the actions. Back then, it was more about, you have that money, I'm holding you account to that money. We make an agreement, I'm holding account to that, right? Okay, so accountability is an abstract noun, therefore refers to both the capacity of and the obligation on someone to produce an account. In politics, an administration responsibility was the technical term that was preferred to indicate the duty that a person in public authority had to respond in their conduct and actions of public officials. In law, liability, because they used liability more so than they would use account. Account was really like just counting for money, but they would say you're liable, or I hold you liable, right? So in law, liability was and is preferred the indicant that by doing a certain action or entering into a certain contract, a person has but himself under an obligation and is therefore answerable for the consequences, right? Following from the action or from a considerable time, accountability was part of a family of words in English that covered a number of interrelated meanings that had to do with issues of political representation, executive and administrative responsibilities, and more loosely, legal liability. And then it says, two facts stand to indicate the late emergence of accountability as a specific concept. Okay, one is its historical absence from dictionaries and encyclopedias until fairly recently, the 1980s. So this word accountability is very fairly recent when we're using it in the terms of I'm holding someone accountable. FL's in the building. Salute, my little bro. Peace, 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 love and light. Okay, so right. So back in the 1800s and prior to that, they would use the word account in regards to money. Liability would be you're held liable for having this account. And it's just not until the 1980s or so where the word accountability actually stands for liability. You're accountable for this, even though liability in the laws, in the eyes of the law, that word still stands as a legal term. So, why pick this conversation today? Well, I felt that something just struck a chord with me yesterday, and um, sometimes, and this could, and in the description, guys, you can see and read it. It doesn't have to do necessarily with a partner, a romantic partner that you're with. This could be somebody you work with. This could be your boss. This could be your friend. This could be your family. Um, in what ways does accountability hold for you? Like, do because it seems some people have a problem with holding themselves accountable, right? And they like to point the finger all which ways but themselves. And they'll never see that they're the ones, or they're the one that needs to hold accountability for some things, right? And in relationships, sometimes that we can see that play out in relationships where um, one of the persons in the relationship is taking on the brunt of carrying the relationship pretty much on their back by themselves, right? And after a while, and you figure, this is my partner, and I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna thug it out, and we're gonna roll with the punches. At some point, when does the accountability kick in? When are you putting in the weight and holding yourself accountable? Could be in terms of family, maybe there was Big Mama got sick. And yeah, sure, there's always going to be a sibling that's going to be there to take care of, Big Mama. But at some point, one of the other siblings take accountability of helping out with Big Mama. Same thing at a job. Here you have a project to work on. The boss delegates it to a group of 5 people, and you're the one mostly doing all the work. When do you say to your teammates, hey, you're going to hold some accountability for this? So it was just something that I was just pondering on, and it can get a little political because people like to see themselves as they are doing things, but then they don't really like to take account. It's like they'll look at all the wrong actions of what you're doing, and then in their light, they're good. So they're not taking any liability for their mistakes. We're all grown-ass adults here. Saying sorry is one thing, but stepping up to the plate and showing that you're sorry is another. So yeah, I mean, I do as well, and it take and see, and I don't want to throw in the zodiac signs and stuff like that, but I have a lot of fixed fire sign placements, so it takes a lot for me to really have to be like, my bad, it's my fault, but I usually will catch it right away. But if someone else has done it and they're trying to make me seem like I'm the bad guy, I'm not going to fess up. I will fess up only when I am the bad guy. But if somebody's pointing the fingers and it's like, oh, well, you're doing this, and they're doing the same damn thing, but they don't want to say that they're wrong, I'm not, nah, we're not going down like that. It's not going down like that. The realist McCoy is in the building. Salute. So I'm going to drop the link, guys, and you are more than welcome to come up and, give me your count of accountability. What does it mean for you? It's not one of these big ponder topics today. It's just something that to be mindful of, when when we're having conversations with people, when we have, because listen, no one person is perfect. I don't care how much, even your pastor, even your grandmother, even your cousin, the most pious person you can think of, there's some blemish. It's up to them to recant and say, you know what, my bad, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It doesn't, but some people live in ego. Some people live on pride, that they may be embarrassed to step down and not say, I'm sorry, because they really effed up. But you know what? So what? All I want to hear is say you're sorry. This is where it went wrong, and how do we move forward from it? If it's solvable. Because sometimes just you saying sorry and whatever the case may be, and moving on and moving away is just as good as well. Noah's in the building. Salute. The conspiracy. Listen, I like that too. I'm definitely into the conspiracy bag, but today's topic is not that big, not that big of a deal. But these things can go into like a political thing where people, certain people in government don't want to be held accountable, right? Therefore, you have other people out there protesting and marching and going along. But listen, somebody got to be held accountable. Somebody's going to go down. Somebody's going to go down. Who? I don't know. But again, now my internet's acting a little strange here, so I might be in and out. Hold on a second, guys. Just let that internet move around a little bit. I dropped the link. If anybody wants to come up. Yes, Obama brought Barry brought the word accountability. Now look at us. That's what I'm saying. So, sometimes, and listen, you don't have to be Superman. You don't have to wear that S on your chest and hold, be the poster child of what accountability looks like, right? Because it'll be your downfall. Because the minute you do something wrong, or the minute you step sideways, then they're like, oh, well, I thought that she was so No. I have flaws too. You just looking at me in a different light. Right. He wanted us. He's the last person to be held accountable. We still waiting for him to take some liability here. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. And that's a Leo right there, Leo. That's that, ego. But again, I'm not making this about any signs, any zodiac signs. I'm just saying that for me speaking, I do have a lot of fixed fire signs. So for me to really be like, oh, yes, I was wrong. My bad. Didn't mean to make you hurt. And that's that. Before, my father and I would have these, he would ask me every once in a while, oh, do you still speak to so-and-so? And why aren't you speaking to so-and-so? And why do you have a vendetta against this, that, and the hurt. And I said, listen, I don't have a vendetta against certain people. I feel like this. If we're all adults here, and each adult played their part into the downfall of the relationship, friendship, relationship, what have you, why can't that person or people just acknowledge what was done, acknowledge my feelings, acknowledge their part in this play, and keep it moving? I don't hold grudges, but I'm not going to sit there and keep talking to you either. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, you got to know who the devil you dancing with. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's a little more harder when it is family members, because you know, blood is thicker than water, and sometimes you give them the benefit of the doubt because it's family, and you like, you know, little so and so wouldn't, or she wouldn't do that, you know, and we give them, and it's like, to one point, do they hold themselves accountable? You've given enough rope, given them what, an inch, and they took a yard, you know? So it's like, at one point, when do they step up to be accountable for their actions, especially if they're an adult? If they're a young person and they're just finding their ways, I'm not going to come down too hard on you. But if you are 30 plus years old and older, you're a grown ass adult, and you should be taken accountable for your actions. Okay. Says the DMV. Go hands your BI. But so, you know, so we kind of put I don't want to say stipulations, but we put stipulations, for better lack of words, on certain people because we've known them longer, or family members, or it could be your own parent, right? You know, your mom, say for instance, wasn't, you know, always there, or motherly in that respect, or nurturing in that respect. And, you know, she did whatever she, you know, did as far as a parent. And so now you're an adult and you're having these moments in life, and you're like, wow, I just wish my mom was accountable for just being a douchebag. Like, she just act like everything was everything, and she treated me like trash, and she's still not sorry for that, right? So these can play a big effect. Some people may not feel like accountability is not such a big deal, but for me, I value that. Those are one of my big peeves, because it's letting me know you see me as a person, and it's letting that person know I see them as well, whether they see themselves or not. You get what I'm saying? So for somebody to, it's almost like an acknowledgement. Accountability is some form of acknowledgement, because you have to acknowledge the actions that you did. Therefore, you are held accountable for the actions that you did, right? So we will probably give mom the hall pass just because she's our mom, but she probably, you didn't grow up the way maybe your friend did down the block, where the mom was always hugging on the child and children and kissing them and just being very nurturing there, right? Or the father who, you know, was always in and out of jail, or hanging on the corner. You see him, but you don't see him in the house. You see him always outside, right? And he'll brush you off till you get back inside the house, tell you, you know, don't hang out with so-and-so, but he's out in the street. But that's dad, that's pop. So we're gonna, you know what I'm saying? But they still has to hold that accountability. Because for that, Now you're grown up and you're like, damn, like it's crazy how I saw my dad out in the corner hanging out, but he never hung out in the house with me. Right? So these kind of things play in our psyche as we get older. It may not, and this is where some of the things stem from. A lot of these triggers probably stem from issues that we had at home. And so now as we grow up to be adults, there wasn't a resolution. So you don't know maybe you don't know how to take accountability for some things because you never saw it in your household. It was never taught to you at home. So you could be expecting it from somebody else, or they're giving it to you, and you don't know how to reciprocate because it didn't happen in your household. Or you're in a relationship and one of the others is constantly, is a serial cheater. But you love this person. You've been through the trenches with them. You help them grow. But at some point, when are you holding them accountable for their actions? And when are you going to start holding yourself accountable? For the gangsters in the building, salute, mama. Salute. Right? Because is it maybe the situation on how we had it at home? A lot of stuff stems from that, and we don't even think about it. Because we're already like in this grown-up head of ours that is like, nah, this person's liable for that. That person's liable for this. They're accountable for that. They should know that, they should know how they would act and they hold account. They should know how they was acting, right? But in truth be told, what if they grew up not knowing? So now you got to be a Sigmund Freud minus the drugs and psychoanalyze these people because you're like, I don't even know who I'm dealing with right now. Like now I gotta be therapist to them because it's something that they did wrong, and they may never see it, and you may never get some type of form of accountability, a form of sorry, because these people don't know that they're acting out because stuff has been embedded in them and ingrained in them for so long that it's second nature for them. For them, acting out is a form of I'm holding it down. That's how I get down. Case in point, at work, you might have somebody who's not as experienced as you are. Therefore, the boss gives you the green light for this project, but you got to work along with this other person because you need help. Who knows, they lied on their resume just so they can get in the job, right? I have a couple of times. I need a job. And so now you're working with somebody who's damn near incompetent. So it's like, you got to take this project on by yourself. And then you're like, well, damn, when you going to hold it down over there? I need you to do your part, right? So it's really bigger than just saying, I hold myself accountable or I hold that person accountable. It's really bigger than that right now that we're dissecting it and we're opening up the layers, because it's embedded, it's ingrained, it's in depth with a person's moray and their upbringing and their background. So it's good to have this kind of conversation, because then we can go back and look at it, and we can go and read some books on psychological behaviors and stuff like that, so we can get to stuff. Because listen, the world is becoming, people are becoming more let's just say that there's a lot of more clinical behaviors going on these days. And not to say that there wasn't 100 years ago or whatnot, but you don't have the social media the way you do now, uh, now back then, right? This tool, the computers, the tablets, the phones, they play a part in the grand scheme of things when you can essentially escape yourself to go into a device to be somebody else. So now you're talking split personalities, right? Follow me here, just follow me. I'm going somewhere with it. Voodoo's in the building, right? Dark psychology. That's where we're going with it. So I'll go back to the partners, the boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. So now you have this devices, right? Like I said, you can essentially become somebody that you are not in the physical world. There's this show called catfishing, all right? You don't know who you're getting because somebody's put on a filter, somebody's taken a whole picture of somebody else, and you're thinking you're talking to somebody who looks like this, and then when the final reveal and you finally get to see who they are, they're looking like one of Beetlejuice's characters, the little shrunken head and the big eyes. And you're like, my bad. My mama needs me to go home right now and help her out. So you've taken on personas that's easy to become, right? And then when this person's like calling you up, well, I thought that we had a good connection, and I thought da 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 da, and they want you to hold accountable for you and your actions. You can't, because you're like, ooh, that's not what I was expecting. You hoodwinked me. You showed me a picture. And these things can be dangerous. Sometimes people will fight and kill you over the fact that you didn't stand your ground. Like, they hold truth to some of these words. Your word is your bond. If I give you a handshake, that's my bond. I hold you accountable and you do this, that's your bond, right? And, like I said, there's an exception to the rule if it happens or that one time and it's like, all right, you know what? Yeah, hall pass. But like I said, second time, shame on me, because now I'm allowing it to happen. So you got these digital things going on here, people going in separate rooms and, becoming different people, donning different filters, not holding themselves accountable. So when you're ready to meet them, you're like, well, where's all your hair at? Or she's looking for this guy who's, he keeps posting himself up at the gym, right? And he's all buffed out and whatnot. And he looks like Steve Urkel. And again, this is just the parallels, guys. I'm not really trying to snap on anybody. I'm just saying that people will hide behind these tools here and make themselves look them out to be somebody else. So it's like, well, when am I going to get to meet you? When am I going to get to meet you? And then you don't know who you're meeting. Right. never leave paradise. You might not get back. Then they got you wanting to wear goggles and stuff and go fly into an alternate universe so that you don't know which way is what anymore. That's why it's like, no, I'm gonna. I know my limits, my limitations. Not buying the little goggles so I can go venture off in la la land. I can meditate and do the same thing. Thank you. Right? Now, how about the case in point with the coworker? You've been assigned this project and you are really good with the artwork, right? You have a team with you, but the other team members are good with other things. You might be good with illustration. Here, one of your team members comes behind you and goes and does some AI looking or CGI looking graphics and steals your likeness and then presents it to the boss like, oh, this is what we did, boss. But they took your whole idea and just made it real fancy. Not taking account for their own work. I did have some issues with that when it first came out with the IG, and I'm still like not on that because I am a person who appreciates art, true art. My mother was an artist and an avid artist at that. She wasn't professional, but she went to a high school here in New York City, fashion and design. And she used to draw out the models and stuff like that. And she had a great hand in that. She doesn't do it. She doesn't draw anymore. So I grew up looking at what real artistry is. Going to MoMA and the art museums and looking at my mother having Picasso books at home and Rembrandt. I know what real art is. To see somebody go on social media now and take an image of somebody else's hard earned work and make it into some AI whatever is not cool. Some people are like, no, that's dope. That's the way of the world. And this is how we're moving. And, either step up with the game or get lost in the sauce. I'm always in the middle. So I'll never get lost in the sauce. And I don't have to step up unless I feel I need to step up. And see, and this is how they are trying to get us. They're trying to throw these things at us so that they can hurry you up and get you caught up in the rapture. Meanwhile, shit is actually going on down here. So while we're too caught up on the top of things, there's things underneath you that you're not seeing. So no. I'll stay right here. I'm not in a race. And and I don't like the fact that these people steal other people's artwork and make it like movable, or they got Egyptian heads on there now, and it's not authentic. It's not authentic, and it's not their work, and they're not accountable for that. So yeah, I pride myself with accountability, because some things you need to have 10 toes squared down. Yeah. You really do. And so, That's just me. That's how I look at things. I feel like, I can jive with you if you say, you know what, I'm really sorry, and you take some form of accountability. If it's both of us doing it and, you know, we're both wrong or something, I'm gonna hold myself accountable for that. And kind of expecting you would too. The problem is when you don't, then that's when we got a problem. Because then I'm like, all right, you showed me your hand. And you don't think you did anything wrong? Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. So I dropped the link. Anybody wants to come through? I know Ronan's getting a passport to leave out of the world. But yeah, if anybody wants to add in their 2-piece and a nugget, 2-piece and some fries, you can. Again, guys, I will be doing private readings. Woohoo! I know some of us have been waiting patiently, and I appreciate that so very much, because with the death of my father, that it's been a little rough for me, and it still is, but I can my head is not so in those trenches of the spirit world where I'm not like, okay, I can't do this because my dad shows up, but I'm good. So October 10th, 10/10, I will be doing we'll be opening up the schedule. So I think the days are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So even though I said 10/10, that's the schedule will be officially open. You guys can book a reading there on my website. All you have to do is just hit the link button, bell, whatever. And also on Instagram, I'll put my Instagram up. So if you can't reach me on my websites rather. Now how is this? See, I done messed up my own. Hold on, guys. Okay. Just trying to put in my YouTube. Not YouTube, IG. That's tired. Okay, so in the comment section, I will pin it. That is my Instagram page, and so if you need to book a reading with me, or you don't understand how to get into the website or whatever it may be, you just go into my Instagram page there. The universe is, I always say the universe conspires. I don't know if it conspires against me or with me. I like to think both sometimes, because if there's something that I need to do or want to do, and for some reason it's blocked, I feel that that's where the universe is conspiring for me, because because that thing or that place just wasn't right for me to be in, right? And so it's conspiring with me for the betterment of me, and against me it's uh again, something that I want, and then it's like, okay, well, we'll give you that, and then I get it, and it's like, ooh, that's not really what I wanted. And it's like, so yeah, I feel that's how the universe works with me in that respect. But yeah, so anybody wants private readings, they can go to my website or just go on to the IG page there. And again, October 10th is when I will start those readings back up. And again, I will let you know if there's any changes. Definitely check the community section in this YouTube channel so that you know of any updates, if any cancellations that I need to close out the calendar. And I think I may just be doing this as a limited time for the moment, just so I can get my feet back, wet and stuff like that, and just get back into the swing of things with doing the readings. So it might be like a limited time that I'm doing them, but definitely. So Wally, I know Wally was looking for a reading, and I know he's going to be happy. I like that. No, I like that. We have to learn our lessons to complete our mission. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think I said it on the Realist show that it's for me. Now we're going to kind of dive into something a little differently, like in religious, spiritual aspects. But for me, I never say that the devil, in quotation marks, made me do it, or it, or the devil, I never put that type of blame. Again, that's holding accountability, right? What I will say is that it's God's way, right? In quotations, if you subscribe with God or Yah, teaching me a lesson. It's Yah's way. It's what I'm supposed to learn. So, case in point, some of you guys are new to this channel, but those who have been here for a very long time now, you know this, that I was a teenage mom. And I never thought for 1 minute that, or blamed and said, the devil made me do this. At 15 years old, I said, I am going to be accountable for the actions that I did. I said that. And God wants me to sit down. There's a reason why I'm pregnant. And I didn't think anything other than I'm having this baby. I didn't know who, where, when, how, what. All I knew was I was the Immaculate Virgin. God spoke to me and said, you're going to have this baby. You need to sit your little fast behind down. And that was it. Because I felt like I just did an adult thing. I didn't feel like the devil made me do it. I might have been doing devilment. I was being carnal. But I never thought that this devil made me do it. No. God says, sit your little fast behind down. You're doing too much. So, again, if a 15-year-old could sit there and hold herself accountable, then the 36-year-old should be able to do the same. A 40-year-old, 42, 50-year-old should be able to do the same. And not only say it, but go through it. Because here in one part of the definition, it says here, accountability, an abstract noun, therefore refers to both the capacity of and the obligation of someone to produce an account. Someone who is accountable is completely responsible for what they do and must be able to give a satisfactory reason for it. So the next time you get into something with somebody, just remember those words. Because it's a difference of them saying, you know, I'm sorry or my bad, you know, that should happen. But to be held fully accountable of their actions, right? And what? Be able to give satisfactory reason for it. That's how you know that they're fully accountable for the actions that they did. That's how you know. Otherwise, they just blowing smoke up your ass. And they just saying something that they think that you want to hear. But it's not the case. It's not the case. Okay, I'm going to throw the link down one more time. And if anybody is interested in coming up, you may do so. I don't bite. Because then if not, I guess we'll close down this live. And I will let you guys know when I'm going to do the next Mindful Monday. And what else? I think that's it. There is something else coming through the pipeline that I want to show you guys, or rather tell you guys, but I'm going to show you it when it comes in. I have it ordered, so when it comes in, I will definitely be showing you guys. So I'm super excited. You know, when there is a death, whether it be physical or spiritual, a birth comes through out of that. So Doe says what? He doesn't want to come up. Oh, it's all good. You don't have to show your face. You just hide behind the little thing there, the little avatar. It's all good though. Yeah, so definitely excited about this new thing that I got going, my new little creation. So it should be coming pretty soon, and I am excited about that. And again, one last time, if anybody's interested in booking a personal reading, a private reading, you guys can do so starting October 10th. After October 10th, you can book a personal reading with me. And I'll go into the link. The calendar is up there. And I believe the days are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you could book with me there, but that's after October 10th. All right. So that's when you can book. Oh, in general. Okay. No problem. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, definitely. And those who aren't familiar with the readings, you know, I have my tarot cards here. I get divine messages by my spirit guides, by my angel guides, because that's who I work with closely. And sometimes, you know, family members, deceased family members come through. And that's where I was a little like hesitant about doing my readings, because I didn't want all that to happen with my dad, even though they're not my readings. But, you know, it's still just tapping in with that spirit world. And you could ask about a relationship, or you can ask about finances. If you just want to have just one card, reading, you can do that as well. And they're about 20 minutes, they're about 30 minutes long, a reading, depending on which particular reading you choose, which section you choose. But you guys can look up on the website and get familiar with it and stuff like that. And if you're still hesitant, you can go back to the past couple of years that I've been up here and I've been doing readings, and you can hear in real time people's responses. I don't know anybody, so their responses in real time. And the most skeptical person was like, "What? How do you know that?" And I don't know it. It just comes to me divinely and through the angels, and I appreciate that. I take my gift and my craft very seriously. It's not a parlor trick. I'm not trying to get anybody for any money. To me, it's not a game. That's why I don't go around saying, "Anybody want a reading? Anybody want a reading?" I don't do that. I'm just publishing it and letting people know now that they can book with me if they would like. But other than that, guys, I'm going to go. And I appreciate everybody who did stop by. I appreciate everybody who will be catching this on the replay. My Miss Sharon, thank you so much for your support. Again, let's hold and keep our Lotus, my moderator extraordinaire, in our thoughts and in our prayers. Her mother transitioned last month. And so, we want to uplift her and her family in the utmost, and send her some love and light and some healing, some blessings to her and to her family, because this is a very devastating time in her life as well. So I missed her. We missed her. I know she'll be back when her time is ready. And yes, thank you, my voodoo. No, thank you so much for your support. All right. So with all that being said, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, the notification bell if you haven't, and share this out if you can. And also, if you're not a subscriber and you are digging this lovely information, please hit the subscription button. We're almost there at 400. So grab some of your friends and family along and spread the news about Foxy, and let's get up to 400. We're almost there. We're like four people short of 400. All right, that'd be awesome. Thank you all. Salute. Peace. That's right. All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you on the flip side.